Hello. Now we're going to go over each IPA symbol for consonant sounds. So in doing so, on your blackboard, I have placed, and I'm going to share that with you, the keyword list. This is a great way for you to identify the IPA symbol listed on your left, and by placing an initial position, a medial position, and a final position, and having the sound underlined, you can identify this symbol's sound. I also want to stop sharing for a minute and show you also on your blackboard and in your book, there is a blank. And this is a great way for you to study. You can place the IPA symbols down the left-hand side and then identify initial, medial, and final by just looking at the symbol to learn. So for example, if I put P here, you would put place, and you would put hobby. Oh, I'm sorry, not P. You would put happy, and you will put hope, okay? And it's a great way to study. There is a blank in your book as well, and there is also in your book one that is printed on pages 197 and 198. But I have it separated in your blackboard in case you wanted an easy print out. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that and put up the one with all the IPA symbols. So again, lowercase alphabet letter P represents P. Initial position, put, happy, stop. And that's on page 70 to 71. False, in final position, we tend to omit the P in connected speech, or even by itself. Stop that. Again, the definition of plosives, we meet half of the definition. Stop. The lips met, but no explosion. It's cognate, B, represented by lowercase alphabet letter B, but, bubble, cab, and that is on page 73. And again, for false final position, we tend to omit. The next tongue and alveolar ridge, or lingua alveolar, is lowercase alphabet letter T, two, and any two you want, they're all pronounced the same way, okay? Little and tent. And we know that little, we tend to substitute D for T in medial, and we tend to omit final position. So in your book, that begins on page 70 and continues to 75. Lowercase alphabet letter D represents D. It's the cognate to T. Is voiceless, D is voiced. As in do, and again, any do you want. They're all pronounced the same way. Medial position, ladder, and final position, send. Final position, we tend to omit. So let's just go over these quickly. P and B are cognates. P is voiceless, B is voiced. T and D are cognates. T is voiceless, D is voiced. P and B are plosives, and they use the bilabial place of articulation. T and D are plosives, and they use the lingua alveolar placement of articulation. The next cognate pair that are plosives, lowercase alphabet letter K represents K, and here we have quite a few spellings. As you see in your keyword list, K, cat. C represents the K, taking, steak. Now, when you look at this list, and this is a reason why you need to read through your book, you will see that the spelling of Q, quite, quiet, question, also K. So if I were to spell this out phonetically, we would use K. this lowercase alphabet letter K when we want the initial position of cute, quiet, question, the C or the Q, and obviously the K. Its cognate is G. And remember, we have other spellings like age has the G spelling, but that's not a G. It's not, we don't say A-G-E. This is just the G, like go, angry, log. And again, that will be on page 85 and 86. So I want to drop down now and put up your book for a minute. I'm going to take you to page 87 because we have a spelling X. We don't have a sound for X. X is usually a Ks or a Gz. And it follows the same voiceless and voice. The only thing is you look to the sound after. So for example, do I say explain or explain? Well, it is determined by what sound is after the X. So here you see P is after the X. P is voiceless. So the X is pronounced as a Ks because Ks is voiceless. Is voiceless, is voiceless. So it's explain, extreme, exchange, exclaim, exfoliate, exhale, expand, extra. Okay, now that's a word I sometimes hear, extra, extra. We do confuse these. In more cases, we produce the guz when we should be producing the kus. So after the X here, we know all vowels are voiced. So examine, exist, example. I hear example all the time. I don't hear exit, I hear exit all the time. So these two are regional behaviors in this area. We do not know when to say a kus and when to say a guz, and in most cases we substitute the kus for a guz. So practice these and see if they are your regional speech behavior. So I'm going to go back to my keyword list. So we went through the plosive sounds and we learned the IPA symbols, and we learned, if you look at the chart on page 67, P and B are bilabial plosives, T and D are lingua alveolar plosives, and K and G are linguavelar plosives.